Hey guys, Gyan again. This time with a review of the Model 44 scale high-grade Gundam Build Fighters Gyan Gya Gyan. Brought to you by Gunpla builders Benelux and Europe. Links in the description down below. So this thing, it's a remold of the original Gyan and also of the valuable pod. So the one big thing they changed is, of course, the colors. Instead of the blues of the regular Gyan, we now have a gold and bronze color scheme. Now, the bronze we're getting for the bottom of the feet, like here on the knees, the body, is absolutely beautiful. I was really surprised by the bronze and the way it turned out. Unfortunately, it does have some imperfections in it, like you can see some, wave things going over the body right here. But overall, the bronze looks really nice. The gold, it's a bit give and take. It's the cheaper kind of gold we have seen with, for example, the Sumos from Turn A Gundam. And I know some people like this kind of gold, but it's still kind of the cheaper variant. We also got it with the Hyakushiki mass production version, and I would have much preferred either a mirror finish, such as the old Hyakushiki Master Grade and High Grade, or the more satin finish that we see with the Hyakushiki Griffio's War version, or the 2.0 Master Grade. Now, for other colors that we're getting, we grabbed the valuable pod. We have a much nicer gold right here on the main body of the valuable pod itself. It's much darker, much better looking, and it also would have been better if they used this kind of gold for that thing. Now we get the same really nice bronze like on his shoulders. Then the gray that's on the valuable pod and also on the Gyan is now the very nice gunmetal gray we also got with the remastered Gundam Seed kits. Then the final colors, we're getting very nice silver finish for the shield instead of the red, and then we get purple for all of the yellow parts of the original Gyan, also like kind of shiny coated. So overall, it looks pretty damn good, especially the bronze. It really makes up for the cheaper gold. On to stickers, we don't get a lot of them, just the ones we get with the regular Gyan. We have the big black one right here, which is supposed to go onto the track of the Mono Eye, but it's not really necessary to use it because, well, it's kind of grayish anyway, especially now with the gunmetal gray. It looks a lot better without it. Then we get the Mono Eye itself, and we also have a sticker on his cockpit right there. The funny thing, it's not a foil sticker. It's kind of a running thing that Bandai often gives us foil stickers for non-shiny parts, and now we get a shiny kit and it doesn't have a shiny sticker. Oh well, what you gonna do about it? And then we also get this sticker sheet right here for the valuable pod, which is 3 mono eyes, of which you can choose 1, or you can make your Gyan some kind of behemoth with 3 eyes, whichever one you want. Articulation is of course still the same as a regular Gyan. Head goes a bit forwards, bit backwards, wobbles around quite a bit, very much side to side, and rotates around all the way. Arms rotate around, go up about that far. And that's all they do, rotate around at the above the elbow, bend at about 90 degrees. The hands are on pegs, so they will rotate around and go up and down a little bit. Waist mobility, what waist mobility? Moving on to the legs, they kick forwards a bit, backwards a bit in their normal mode, go out, and will rotate around a bit. And then you can also pull it out in order to give the legs a bit more forwards and backwards mobility. And that is literally something the manual wants you to do in order to increase his mobility. Pull his legs down. And then knees are double jointed, and for a kid of this age, not too bad. Then the feet, well, they technically have mobility. They go side to side. They go forwards a bit and backwards a little bit. And actually, if you're just standing them up, the feet are as far backwards as they can be. So as far as articulation is concerned, I hope you like standing poses. Keep in mind that this is of course a remold of the second ever high grade to be released, and it really shows with the articulation, especially the very limited articulation of the feet kills a lot of posability it could have had. Because the knees definitely are pretty good for the time, but all the rest is a bit bleh, and definitely shows its age. Accessories, on the other hand, are where things get a lot better, but also a bit anime inaccurate, because, well, we do get 2 shields. Well, not just 2 shields, we get 3 shields. But unfortunately, the 2 that we have to use according to the manual are not anime accurate. These are shields, well, these are the valuable pod shields, and the big difference is they, of course, have a hole for a beam saber. The Gyan Gya Gyan should have 2 of these. Instead, well, we get 2 with beam saber holes in them. Yes, they are better, but they're not necessarily more anime accurate, so that might be a bit off-putting for some. And the shields go on there surprisingly well. Also, his handles for this are also with the valuable pod, so this is still a completely functional shield that you can give to another mobile suit. And well, these shields have exactly the same functionality. You can push them to the front in order to give the enemy a full barrage. Now, you could, of course, also use a combination of, you know, this shield and a valuable pod shields, or just buy a second Gyan, paint it up a bit, and give him another one of these shields, and just give him one of the holders of the valuable pod. But now let's get on to the really good news, and that's where this kit actually improves on the original valuable pod. Anyone who knows about it knows about the one big issue. It had solid beam blades. Well, no more. This time we actually get 2 clear yellow beam blades for beam swords. Now, how did they do this? Well, they gave us 2 of those runners. 1 in purple and 1 in clear yellow. So, we also have this fantastic creation you're probably not going to find anywhere else. It's a reverse beam saber. The handle is now the beam blade, and the beam blade itself is where it's supposed to hold it. Because, you know, why not? And that's not all for beam sabers that we're getting. We, of course, still get the regular Gyan's beam saber as well. So that is 5 whopping beam swords we get with 1 model kit. That is a lot of swords for 1 model kit. One final thing about the beam swords is that while they fit perfectly into the regular Gyan's hands, they're not quite as tight in the hands of the valuable pod. Though it's not really a big issue because, well, we have a giant guard and we also have a thick ending of the beam swords. Also, I just said we got 2 runners of the purple parts. That also means you can technically give your Gyan Gya Gyan beam shields. You know, that's taking a giant leap in technology for this old 1-year war veteran. And that's still not nearly all for accessories we're getting. As I've shown before, we're also getting the complete valuable pod. So you can also make yourself a valuable Gyan Gya Gyan. And one thing I have to say about it is that it isn't nearly as back heavy as I was expecting, because those shields offer a very good counterweight to that giant backpack. It also has a little bit of mobility. The Vulcan guns go up and down, and then this here also rotates around. The one thing about the valuable pod is that there are no poly caps in it whatsoever. So those 4 points of articulation are all plastic rubbing against plastic. So just don't move them around too much if you want to keep them somewhat steady. Of course, nobody's keeping you from making your own custom either. I'm calling this the valuable Gyan Gya Gyan Gyan Gya Gyan. And finally, to wrap up everything else we're getting with this set. The remaining parts from a valuable pod, we have connector pieces to connect it to pretty much anything else. Some connector pieces for the shields to give it to regular machines. And here are some more connector pieces to connect it to other mobile suits. And then from the regular Gyan set, we of course get 4 of the hide bombs, of which he now has a lot. I mean, come on, 3 shields? He's gonna do a lot of mine laying. And finally, also the 3 original hands. So we get 5 hands with this set. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And well, it's going to depend a bit on the kind of builder you are. First of all, of course, because this is an Expo limited kit, so it's not readily available. Next up, you know, we have the issue of the colors. Some people really like this color, other people are a bit about it. So for the people who really like the gold on this thing, I would definitely recommend it to them. This set is really nice. It comes with a lot of stuff to play around with, a lot of stuff, you know, to kind of make your own Gyan Gya Gyan or Gyan or Gyan Gya Gya Gyan, Gyan Gya Gyan Gyan, or your own valuable Gyan Gya Gya Gyan. All right, let's get on with it. So yeah, you can really make your own thing and put as many Gyans in the name as you want. So for those kind of people, it's a lot of fun. And the prices ranging from $40 all the way to $70 on eBay. If you can find it for the lower end of the spectrum, it's a cool kit. Now for other people who might be thinking, yeah, the color scheme, it's not really my thing. Well, this kind of gold isn't really my thing. I can paint and whatever. You know, you might be better off grabbing the Gyan and the valuable pot and painting it yourself. Because really, the one big thing this set does that the valuable pot doesn't do is, you know, give us the extra beam blades, which are now finally translucent yellow. So the one thing this does better than the original kit is beam blades. So that's also one thing that's kind of going to factor in how important are those clear beam blades to you. Once again, if they're very important, this is a nice set to get for your Gyan Gya Gyan. Or if they're not that important for you and you want to paint the entire thing, once again, getting a regular Gyan and the regular valuable pot might be a better option for you. For comparisons, first of all, here is next to the regular Gyan and my Gyan Cannon Black Knight Custom. And you know, looking at these, he wouldn't be bad as a commander of those two. Also, I've gotten way more Gyans than I thought I ever would recently. But I've really taken a liking to these little guys. I blame Giran's greed for that. Then here is next to the Dryson and Haman Khan's Gaza C. Because I don't know why, but with those, well, shoulder pads, I get the feeling that like it should be an Axis mobile suit. It's really giving me that kind of vibe, and I don't know why. And finally, here is next to the standard sized Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And you know, with that hat from the valuable pot and those extra shield shoulder pads, it's a pretty intimidating machine. Pretty big, pretty bulky, and a not too bad upgrade for the Gyan. So that's all for this review, brought to you by Gunpla Builders Europe and Benelux. Links in the description down below. And see you guys next time. Le Ding.